sometimes the fastest set of wheels is the slowest way to get where you're going. At least, that's how it is outside San Termino. Hi, everybody. My name's Philip, and I'm the Noir Master of this game. And what is this game, you might be asking yourselves? You probably aren't because you're here. But this game is Gray in the Dark, even though over my head it says Long Lost Noir, Gray in the Dark, because I consistently forget that I should probably update these overlays. Or not. This is session 32. It's fine. This is just what it is. Yes, my name's Philip. I'm the Noir Master, and surrounding me are our players. I hope you're all having a lovely evening. We were just having a spirited debate about Southern California fast food restaurants, in which some controversial statements were made. But I think
it's controversial that the statement was controversial in the first place.
That's true. I think in the end, though, the important thing is we all have things we like, and that's good. It's nice to have preferences when it comes to cheap, convenient food and options. Thank you, California. Although you guys have never had Whataburger, have you?
I've had a Whataburger. It's good.
I have heard a lot about it, but I've never had one.
Here's the trick at
My friends
Whataburger.
from Texas will never shut the fuck up about it.
Whataburger has they have the chicken strip sandwich, which is 3 of their fantastic chicken strips between 2 pieces of Texas toast, a slice of American cheese, and wells of barbecue sauce between the chicken strips.
If only that was real cheese.
I was backed up when I saw the menu recently. No, American, for melting on a sandwich, American cheese is the best.
That's true.
It's because it melts like this. Yeah.
It's specifically designed to melt properly.
It's what it's there for. Like a cheeseburger or anything like that. Come on.
Pepper jack melts nice.
But not like American.
Not the way it doesn't get just like this gooey
American
weirdness.
cheese is not cheese.
No, it's not. It's cheese product.
Yeah. It's also fucking delicious
it's
on
great.
a burger.
I think I'm of the opinion if you're eating fast food,
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
I'll never eat American cheese outside of a burger, but on a burger.
God.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm really hungry. Cool. So let's talk about this game. We are down a couple players tonight. One of them may show up later, but it is not a for sure thing. So yes, basically Dominic is without his crew, and the conspiracy theorists and basically the 3 who were involved with military secrets and intelligence and plots are the only ones so Dominic will have to deal with that. While, if we remember, so our group, basically having fled into the fairylands because a guy was killed in front of them, they've made their way through all sorts of strange spots here, undertaken sort of a quest on behalf of Duchess, although she's going to be real quiet tonight, so now's the time to give up that quest, I suppose. And have basically decided that they're going to try to help old Toshia Brunotti by getting some books that she thinks might help with sort of explain some of the color stuff or possibly even reverse it. But to do so, they have to find a suitable alternate nest and vortex of dark energy for one Angry Daisy Cryptwillow, a hag, which is the term, not an insult on my part. And to do so, they have decided to use their intimate knowledge of a castle in the shadow world called Anobaith that has its sort of corollary here in the fairylands called Lytesia, that they have sort of ventured there on a musical journey where they then parted ways with the bard who helped them get here after a fight with a monkey ape. That ape was in parentheses.
It's a long story.
I will once again point out that so much of the 32 sessions of this game have been in the fairylands. It's kind of shocking to me.
What
You
happens
then,
if we
however,
go to another random plane. This just happened.
we did, however, get some sort of like bigger lore stuff, and some of it was mildly forced. Honestly, the fact that you met this individual where you did and didn't just walk on to Anabith is because in another game, an important name was about to come out, so I had to have it come in here. But actually, it's kind of interesting timing for it, so I love it. Everything is for a reason. You have met the Hopping Country Squire, a rabbit folk individual who is a bit sort of, well, he seems a little unhinged, especially since you guys followed him back to his house and found a bunch of dead elves in the basement with rabbit faces painted onto the portraits of elves throughout. Scrakk, you were not present for, or that is, Scrakk was present, but and Anthony, you were not present. So,
All right, there we go.
oh, you okay? Yeah. So basically, we learned a few things. One, that he seems to be working for someone named the Count, and he assumes that you are too, although he's very cagey and won't be telling you stuff. You guys took advantage of the fact that you went back to his home to sort of read up on him and actually Gimlet with some, your name is Gimlet on there. I just called you Gimlet accidentally. Gimlet's character from a previous campaign. So basically, with that, Sha'Nehl did some like very good, Sha'Nehl and Luminus did as well, kind of did some real good looking around as Dominic distracted the Hopping Country Squire by asking questions about his magically enhanced, just absolutely crazy car. His hopping
Guys always
car.
just have to show off.
Yeah.
And
They learned a few things, mainly that it appears that this Count is a gremlin who is trying to put maybe connected to something called the world's new model, which is a term that I repeated several times, and I'm going to just sort of world's new model. And if you guys know,
Not new order, new model.
it's a world's new model. But
Yeah.
if that's where your mind is going to what I'm trying to reference. You also determined that this individual is probably named Count Hars de Buelde.
Of course.
And
Actually,
Gesundheit.
not everybody knows these things.
that is
because
true.
we haven't.
You have not
haven't
shared
been
these things
before.
with everyone. But so his name is Count Hars de Buelde, and he is a gremlin who like was wearing like full like gremlin like medals and regalia. And if you guys, we did actually talk about it a fair bit last time as a reminder of all of the complicated geopolitical nonsense in this fictional world, that the gremlins were on the other side during the war and then switched sides, and many people kind of had to admit that had they not done that, you probably would have lost the war. So I will, at the same time, I will clarify, or sort of just will, as always, point out, you know, does this mean this Count, was he someone who wanted that to happen? Was that against his wishes? You know, Sha'Nehl, you suspect he is at some point was an important member of Gremlin society, but as to whether or not he is a leader among the Gremlins, or whether he is an outsider among them, where he was, where he is, if there's been a change, you don't know any of that stuff. All you know out of game is that he is a mythic level character.
The gremlins were fairly powerful magic users, weren't they?
They
Noir?
definitely
Or
had
they
a good
hexes or something like that.
They definitely had a lot of good magic, and it's sort of a lot of it would also manifest though as it's kind of arcano-mechanical stuff. So they could they're the reason guns don't they're the reason that guns just worldwide kind of don't work quite right as they shut them down, and planes, air travel became sort of threatened because they did some things that make all the bolts kind of just a little shaky. Some of them climb up on the wings if they want to go old school. Maybe wearing their little Viking helmets while doing so.
There's something on the wing.
Some on the wing. You've got to believe me. There's something out there. Basically, the Hopping Country Squire, with Sha'Nehl having gotten this stuff, and you guys giving some signals between her and Luminus that they've sort of discovered things in this house. You guys went to get into the car of the Hopping Country Squire. He is going to take you to Laetitia and has told you that there are castellans at that castle, he suggested you maybe don't tell them what your plans are were you to encounter them. But it does seem that the space is occupied. There was some question, I think, as to whether or not there would be anyone there. And the answer sort of was that yes, it is. There are some figures in there. But we ended with you guys piling into his car. It was also pointed out that Scrakk, Sha'Nehl, Leo, and Duchess basically weigh the same as Dominic. I did the math on this after the fact. So 4 of you weigh as much as Dominic, and then Luminus weighs a little more than that. So yeah, there you go.
Sha'Nehl is still the strongest because she's wearing that belt.
Sha'Nehl does have the strongest because she's wearing those suspenders.
Suspenders, right?
Yeah, the suspenders of Storm
And I
Giant.
like slapping it.
Yep. And crackling with electricity, yeah.
Given the physics of it, she should be able to just jump really far then.
I mean,
But I don't think D&D accounts for that sort
I
of
think
shenanigans.
it doesn't. Yeah, she should be able to do like Hulk leaps across the southwest of America. She probably should. I would potentially say that though she has the strength, perhaps her legs do not have the tensile ability to, even with the strength, to land. So what she could probably do is jump once, and then the legs would both snap off. Oh my
Yeah,
god!
but then I can put
You've
them
heard
back
of the
on.
peasant railgun.
You
Now
put it
see
back,
the
but so in
mannequin
other words,
railgun.
yeah, in other words, you can't jump, like you can't like bound and bound and bound, but you could do one huge jump.
Have
But
you played
also-
Morrowind?
One jump an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Then you're like, ba-doop, 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 ah, da-da-da-da-doo.
Have you guys played
Problem with wishing
Morrowind?
for superpowers without wishing for the secondary powers to go along with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This happened in Morrowind, which I just reinstalled and played. Within the first hour, you run into someone who had the scrolls of Icarian flight, had the jump ability. He didn't have the land ability. No, he just lands right in front of you and dies.
It's no problem. Also, though, this makes me now really think that in a very evil way, at some point when Sha'Nehl's trying to lift something that's incredibly heavy, her arms should snap off in the doing of it, because that's...
Oh, come on!
I don't know. I mean, yeah, you know, the suspenders give it to you, but they weren't...
You just
That's so
don't
funny.
want me to have the suspenders.
No, I want you to... That's never what my thing is. I want you to suffer for everything you have. That's all it is. So you have piled into the car. 4 of you kind of are like much less of that. There's these... Dominic, you're up in the front seat, sort of next to him. The rest of you are kind of haphazardly, you know, stiff-bodied mannequins and crouching Scracks and hidden duchesses.
I'm toying with the radio.
There is no
See what's-
radio. It's an old-fashioned one.
man.
He has pulled on his goggles, thrown the scarf around his neck, and told everyone to prepare for one wild ride.
Was it open top?
Oh yeah. Actually, no. It might have. It's open. Like there's probably like a really small windshield, and maybe it has those just like sunscreen things over you. You know.
I see.
Let me look at that Instagram post I did today. It's basically that. That was the one picture in the image thing that Lauren has for me of like an old fashioned car that looked like it was in motion.
Huh.
So it's like like there is a top, but like there's no side windows. It's like a Model T, basically. I don't know, or a little after a Model T. We said. You get the idea.
I get it.
Oh, that's right. Model Ts, you physically removed the whole top. If it was raining, you'd like put a huge thing on top of it. It's crazy.
Oh.
So in any case, he puts it in gear. The thing is shaking crazily, and suddenly the whole car lurches forward and does, in fact, with sort of strange, springy motion of the wheels, leap up into the air. It's kind of amusing that this is who's here. I actually need our 3 lighter characters. So Scrakk, Sha'Nehl, and Leo to please make dexterity saving throws, which is the nice one to give you, as opposed. Although Sha'Nehl would probably be like, "Give me a strength."
Can I have
doesn't
the
matter.
strength savings? I'm hanging on to the whole thing.
I suppose you could do a strength saving throw.
What about a con saving throw?
No, not a con save, sadly.
That's
This is a dex to try to like. This is almost like the hold to hold on to something. Do a dex, Sha'Nehl. Everybody do dex.
Oh,
I'd give her strength. I'd allow it. We never use a strength saving throw. Come on.
The strength saving throw is coming later.
This is a,
So,
if this is the deck save to hold on, can I use my tail to get advantage?
no.
15.
6.
15, 6. What did you have, Scrakk?
9.
Wow. Okay, so Sha'Nehl, you sort of like kind of like manage to move and like brace yourself as Leo and Scrakk are just like beginning to like fly all around, completely out of sorts, as they're not flying out of the thing, but they're sort of like slamming up against like whatever little top thing is, or doing, kind of fighting purchase. So that means this is unsporting. That
You bet.
as it's kind of like leaping up in the air, and it's like whoa. The car is heading back down. Duchess is probably screaming, and or like she's probably screaming, and then she pauses to smile for like a camera that's like on the roller coaster at that point as it falls down. But when the thing impacts the ground, I do need Scrakk and Leo to now make strength saving throws to hold on to stay within it.
No, that's not going to go well for me. Okay.
Am I able to look
Gosh.
behind me and hold on to one of them, grab one of them with a
I will
reaction or something?
let's see what they roll, but I will give you that. We will allow that as a possibility. Sure.
That's an 11 minus 1.
11 minus 1, so 10.
Hey,
Yeah,
Okay. Scrakk.
you're muted.
2.
2.
Okay. So Leo bounces. In fact, Leo, arm, leg, or head?
What the heck?
Head.
So
You have
basically,
3
Leo
hits, right?
bounces up and his head goes falling. And we'll say like Luminus kind of like swats that down. So Leo, your body now just kind of like falls sort of like into its thing, and your head is just on the ground. And Leo's like trying to like put like a like a clawed foot on top of your head and hold your body down, and say, "I wish I was eating ice cream."
Which part of me is sentient now?
The head.
Okay. Oh, dear.
I think you can move your body independent. Like if your head's looking at your body, you can do it, but it's very disorienting.
Is this a
Well,
full
this is a very
360
strange
PO?
sensation.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, Scrakk, you do go flying out. Sha'Nehl or Dominic can attempt to do this. Dominic, since you're behind Scrakk,
you use your whip?
it will
I'm
be
in front.
Sha'Nehl could try to whip Scrakk. That would be a higher thing to do without hurting him at all. You could try that, or you're just gonna grab him. Dominic, you
Never said
can
anything
also
about hurting.
attempt, but it will be the DC is higher for you because you're further away. So which one of you?
I like to try to grab him by the tail.
Understood. Oh, grab by the tail. That's painful, but sure. Make an athletics roll, Sha'Nehl.
But it's practical.
It's practical.
It is, I believe, it's a 20.
A 20. So Sha'Nehl does manage to yank Scrakk back by the tail, and probably
Sounds
instinctively,
like a
kind of like she
Gekko,
puts
right?
little English on it. And Scrakk, there's a moment. You are not cartoons, but there's this moment where like Scrack's tail like curves back, and he's like upside down next to Sha'Nehl, and it's almost like Sha'Nehl has turned his tail into a whip and is about to put it on her belt, and then it's like, right, this is a person. But she is able to get you back into the car. And with that, this is like as it's like lurching on the ground, everyone's shaking, but like also as he started flying out of it, the car then lifted up into the air again with another hop.
Can I try to be a human bungee cord
Belt!
and hold everybody down?
A human
With my
bungee cord
strength?
with your strength?
Uh-huh. Or use my strength somehow that, it's like, kind of like
If you wanted
bracing
to like
myself
if,
against.
if you wanted to seriously brace, you think there is a danger that you could break the car? But you can certainly do that if you think it would. You just like there's a possibility that you'll like break something off or something because
Yeah, like Hulk or something.
you're holding so tightly onto these, I mean these bars. That you could like rip the roof off of this car if you wanted to.
And can Scrakk like crawl under the seat?
Yes, at this point, Scrakk and Leo's head can like be put under the seat. And
So wait a minute, you both
Who
under the seat.
builds a hopping car
and
without inertial
that being said,
stabilizers?
for Scrakk and Leo, this ride is going to be deeply unpleasant with you under there because you're just like hitting the ground and it's like and it's jostling around. I think at this point, Sha'Nehl, a roll like that is probably not necessary on your part because everybody now understands the craziness and everyone is pretty braced. So you think everyone will be okay. As you've kind of got into place and Luminus is there kind of like with an arm around Leo's body and Duchess is doing God knows what. The Hopping Country Squire sort of says...
Duchess is pretty, well, I don't want to say soft, but very,
Cushiony?
Cushion.
Yeah.
Non-Euclidean.
That is accurate, yes. There is oh god, what is it?
Got airbags.
Jiggle physics. What is it in those video games? The bounce physics.
Jiggle physics.
Those are turned. Yeah, it's a horrible world. The point is, yes. So you guys bounce and bounce and bounce up in the front, Dominic. The Hopping Country Squire will sort of say to you, yes, we're making wonderful time, aren't we? It's going to be marvelous, won't it? And he's just sort of driving like this. And Dominic, I want you to make an insight roll.
Oh.
I'd just like to note that my body has lashed itself onto Luminus and is like grabbing its face to make sure it doesn't go anywhere.
Like thinking you're on an arm, mouth in it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
3 + 1 is 4, so I am not paying attention to what he's saying at all.
Yeah, you're too. It's like there's too much wind whipping. You know, you didn't get goggles.
And
Yeah, so he's just talking. He's talking at me at a normal volume. I just hear the wind around me, and I'm going.
So you have no idea what he's saying. You have no idea how, like, you know his tone of it. You don't see the sort of Mr. Toad-like frenzy in his eyes.
I'm just nodding and going thumbs up while holding onto it, nodding my head.
Oh, cool. So you know what? We'll say that with your insight of that, you just nod your head. He looks at you and like nods, and then you see him reach down and grab another lever.
Oh no.
Which he then pulls up like huge. All right. Dominic and Sha'Nehl, I need the two of you to please make strength saving throws. I think Sha'Nehl will be all right, although she could roll really low.
Are we moving?
Shouldn't.
Are we moving more vertically or horizontally with each jump?
Make a perception roll at disadvantage, and this is sadly this is not, you can't really tell this from scent. This is some inner ear attempt to get what's going on here.
8.
Oh dear, Dominic.
Actually, 8 + 2 is 10.
Oh, 10. Okay, well, let's.
Okay, there we go. 50-50.
26.
26.
Yeah.
So, and Scrakk, how is that perception?
That was a 5.
So, Scrakk, you have no idea what's going on from under this thing, other than that you're probably going to be sick of that really gross lunch you guys were fed at the guy's house. Sha'Nehl, you managed to you kind of are having to now you're holding on, and you're even keeping an arm over Duchess and sort of over Luminus. Luminus is lifting up slightly, as Leo's body's even more tightly wrapping onto him.
Can I do a mathematics roll or something? I just would like to calculate the possibility of grabbing the guy's scarf and strangling him. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I just wanna do, just figure out where.
Are we doing a full Sherlock thing?
You want to see if it would be possible for you to reach behind him and strangle him with his scarf. I don't think you need a roll.
The scarf must be fluttering.
Oh yeah, it's fluttering
right?
back. But I don't think that requires a roll. If you want to grab his scarf and try to choke him, I think you could certainly attempt that.
Not yet.
What is it? I mean,
thoughts.
I'm trying to just make sure I understand what role you're asking for. I think it's not, you don't have doubt that would be achievable, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So Sha'Nehl sees the scarf fluttering around right in front of her face, and intrusive thoughts are coming in there.
It doesn't seem like they're
Sounds like-
intrusive thoughts to
How
Sha'Nehl. It
easy
seems like
it
thoughts
would
that
be.
Sha'Nehl came up
Those
with.
are just
Oh,
thoughts.
And by Sha'Nehl, I
No,
mean...
no.
And by
Those are-
Sha'Nehl, I mean Vanda.
Yes, exactly. Those are just Vanda's surface thoughts.
Yeah,
No,
But these
no.
are intrusive thoughts to Sha'Nehl.
I'm gonna...
Actually, it's Gimlet.
I'll even reveal a
in-
thing. Last night, during a game where a murder mystery party was going on, and the group, forgive me for just sharing this right now, Vanda, while the group was discussing like how they were gonna handle this murder mystery, and like were they like, it was ambiguous if they were really supposed to kill people or if that was just like, it's like somebody says like, and then just kill whoever you want, and they're like, do they mean we murder or do we mean whatever? And as they're sort of discussing all this stuff, and they're saying like, well, it's like, so you're gonna pretend to be the murderer and do this thing. Vanda private messages me here in Zoom and basically, and says, so can I just kill people like at this party independently of this? And I said,
I just felt that they're not gonna take us seriously if you don't really kill somebody.
that's fine. I'm just saying
So
the
I
message.
suggested maybe they are fooling around. They really killed somebody.
Yeah,
just to
she's
be
like,
taken
can I just
seriously.
really kill some people at this party? And I said, I mean, you can, I suppose.
If
Yeah,
I ki-
and then she replied
if
something,
I
yes,
killed
something
that
like that.
French
Of like,
maid,
This
that
was
would
Sunday,
really
You know,
right?
the-
you don't have
oh,
Yeah.
Sunday night. Sorry, yes, 2 nights ago.
Like there's like a what is it? There's like a mental or like a moral thought. What is it? Thought experiment. What
Oh,
would it
yeah,
take for you to
Yeah.
try and to just up and kill somebody? What would it take for you to do that? Vanda's like, sure, just give me a reason. Just tell me to. I'll do it.
I like that.
Hey, I'm from the old country.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You do
the
it the
analyst
old way
says,
there.
so I want you to do a
Vanda-
thought experiment. I want you to imagine that, like, I had wronged you in some way. What would it take for you to try to win? And then you cut to Vanda, who's, like, sharpening a knife, like, what? Nothing.
Vanda is the most true example of true chaos of a
Yeah, it's
like
fair, yeah.
alignment that I've ever met in
So,
real life.
all of
But
this
it's
is to say,
so enjoyable.
All of this is
honestly.
to-
You should embrace chaos.
all of this is to say, Vanda, that Sha'Nehl, there's no role required to, like, get the angles on that.
Okay.
It's, you know, you'd if you did it, you'd be letting go of whatever benefit you were giving other people, but you could certainly reach back there and try to do it. There's no barrier between you guys. Yeah, you could.
Didn't
Okay.
Vanda say something on Sunday? Sorry, I'm going back to this, but didn't you say something like, shouldn't we all like just like right now promise not to kill each other for this game? And everybody was like, I didn't think that was on the table.
Oh, yes. You literally did say that. Oh my god, that was, I forgot, I blocked that line out because so many things happens. Yes, that was so good. Because everyone was talking about like who was going to be the murderer and what they were doing. And then, yeah, Vanda said, should we all just decide we're not going to kill each other? And yeah, the response was, what? Yeah, of course we're not going to kill each other.
Hey,
So,
hey.
as the
That's the kind of
zigzag,
question
okay?
a murderer would ask.
As the car is gliding through the air once again, Scrakk with no sense of where it's going, Sha'Nehl having pushed everyone down and we'll say that Sha'Nehl, the scarf just kind of like flutters into your face, you know, like that, like right in front of it. Dominic, you, my friend, with a 10, you have been bounced kind of up. I'm gonna say with a 10, since you just made it, you've like fallen out of the seat, but you're like holding on to like the side of the door, you know, you're holding on like, whoa. And you kind of hear him say something like fun ride, eh, old sport? And as you guys are sort of bouncing again. But so Dominic, you have not been thrown far off, but you're in a bad position. And just to embrace the chaos,
I
Sha'Nehl,
wonder what.
Sha'Nehl, would you please
what-
make a morality saving throw?
Oh, morality.
The intrusive thoughts. are coming in.
I rolled a 14. I think I have a -1.
13. Ooh. A 13 would be enough that you are not compelled to strangle the guy. And
Okay.
and your sort of lust to sort of hurt this weirdo who's consorting with gremlins and doing who knows what, is not overridden by the fact that you suspect if you choked him, there would be a crash of some kind. But and now Dominic is like, hey, you got the outside, you've got everybody else kind of in good shape. The car continues bouncing. Dominic, I will say the rest of them in the back, like between heads on floors and Sha'Nehl focusing and whatever distraction Duchess is providing. Dominic, you would be the only person who would sort of be looking forward, though you're also clinging for dear life. Would you please make a perception check?
Yeah, there we go. There's something I'm good at.
Yeah.
+7. And I roll 13. Oh no. Natural 13 plus 7 is non-nat 20.
20 is great. Dominic, despite these crazy bouncing things here, as you sort of arc over the fairylands on this kind of like this black and white, but still sort of sunny afternoon, in the far, far distance, kind of rising sort of out of clouds in a rather mystical looking way, you do see a rather grand castle. It's mainly in silhouette at this distance. And it appears that it is, you know, it is elevated a bit from like the ground below, although, you know, you guys are bouncing like pretty crazy. So you think that like on a hill amidst a forest, there is a beautiful castle there. And based on the fact that it's where you're going and all sorts of things, you do suspect that is Laetitia.
Camelot.
Or Camelot.
Go to Laetitia.
only
It's
a
a silly
model.
place.
My friend stole my DVD of that. Or at least never gave it back after I lent it to him. What a shame.
The car lands and bounces again. Dominic, why don't you make an athletics check to try to climb back in? Or if you want to do something else, you certainly are welcome to.
Athletics is my best of those.
Okay.
Physicals. 16.
Yeah, Dominic, it's you kind of have to you wait for another bounce, and once you're in the air, when once you've reached the top, and you sort of wait until you're at the top of the bounce where the pull of gravity is beginning to shift from and you manage to use the inertia of up to and you sort of scramble back into the seat and pull the thing down, and he says something completely unintelligible, and the car is sort of leaping back down again. And Dominic, he seems very excited. Sha'Nehl, with your passive, you also notice this. My apologies to Scrakk and Leo being stuck under runner board seats for these horrors, but Sha'Nehl and Dominic, you both notice with your passive perceptions that he sort of smirks at you, his ears kind of fluttering behind him along with the scarf as he reaches for another lever.
Oh no.
Break.
Sha'Nehl?
Can Dom stop him?
Dom.
I don't even know what he's gonna do, so I don't. Do you know the saying, don't mess around with a pilot while he's flying the plane? I don't know if that's a saying, but yeah, I probably wouldn't.
Now it is.
At this point, you leap back down to this sort of, as it's he pulls this as you guys are going down, and the next leap is so tremendous that the earth explodes beneath it, sending sort of sod and grass and mushroom caps in all directions. You see this almost like a mortar shell exploding as you rise back up. He's cackling with this mad glee as you head even higher than you had before. I do need everyone at this point to make a Constitution saving throw.
Hey, I got my con save.
There you go.
Don't hurl.
This dice is going in dice jail.
21.
Wow. Finally, a decent roll. 21 as well.
All right. Hey! So we have 21 for Dom, 21 for Scrakk. What did Leo have?
A 12.
12. Okay, Leo. And Sha'Nehl, what do you have?
I'm not what is my saving throw? Saving.
It's in kind of
throw.
is it on the
Oh, there
PDF?
you go. Yeah,
Plus.
21.
Whoa, 3 21s and a 12.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Nice.
Oh, sorry, 14.
Blackjack.
I miscounted the...
You blew it. They all had 21s, and if you had a 12, at least be the same numbers. Yes, Dominic.
So, here's a question relevant for Leo. He does not have any innards. Do G-forces affect him and make him sick?
I would say that the G-forces do kind of stress the plaster interiors of the minds of Leo and Sha'Nehl, like the stress on it, the change in sort of pressure, you know, it's maybe less of like a, it
or
does,
they don't affect us at all, but we still act like it's
or they're just
programmed.
their painted faces are just this time the leap is intense, but everyone manages to weather it okay.
And not throw up.
Scrack's like wrapped his tail around himself as a cushion by now.
That seems acceptable. Duchess rolled pretty high, and Luminus did fine as well. So all of you everyone sort of manages to not basically pass out as the car leaps over the cloud line. And you guys are now up in the sky. The temperature drops. There's this almost weightless feeling as you're up here, sort of what sunlight had been dappled below the clouds. You pass through a cloud, and you are at some pretty high elevation from this hop at this point. And because you all managed to avoid passing out, it's a pretty majestic sight. You know, you can sort of see, you can see the beautiful gray sky sort of stretching out in all directions over you. Kind of this sort of gradient, the sun bright shining down. The sun here almost looks like it has a smiling face on it because fairies. Yes, Dominic?
It's midday.
It is. Yeah, you guys left right after lunch, so it's like 1 p.m. or so. Yeah.
All right.
So it's pretty like kind of like lit from above, but it's a pretty like cool moment as you're up here, sort of like, woo, flying really high. It is cold, but cold never bothered me anyway. But as as you begin to go down, Dominic, you see that the hopping country squire, his sort of, you know, gloved hands on the steering wheel, he doesn't seem tranquil the way one might think you would when you sort of reach the apogee of a leap such as this.
Are you okay, Squire? Hops?
Oh. We'll hop straight to the sun, old salt. And he's reaching for another lever.
What does this one do?
Stop him! Stop him!
What? Have us fall down? All the way to the ground from here?
So he's reaching for a lever, Dominic. What would you like to do?
I know. I don't mess around with the driver while he's driving. He knows what he's doing, right? He knows what he's doing, right? I don't know how to drive this thing.
That's it. I'm killing this rabbit.
All right, so he's reaching for the lever. Dominic seems to do nothing. Sha'Nehl, you're going to reach for him?
Can I use my whip to stop him or reach for him or anything, just to not...
I'll tell you what, you can take a shot with your whip at his hand to try to pull it off, but since this is a called shot, the AC has a big increase. So he's getting a bonus to his AC because
do it by hand.
If you'd rather, you could reach up and try to wrestle him. The whip would definitely work of just like keeping the one hand off. If you wrestle and it goes bad, you might, you know. But so yeah, you can try either way. It's harder to do the whip, but it's riskier to do the other one. So which one are you gonna do?
I'll do the whip.
Do the whip. All right, make a whip roll.
And what is my what is my modifier for this?
It is
whip attack, right?
Whatever your
but it's with strength because it's...
You can use strength because it's a finesse weapon, which seems like a problem for my life. So that's...
And that would be how much?
Well, it would be...
Strength mod plus proficiency plus any magical bonuses.
Yeah, it's not... what does it say on your sheet that it is right now?
The whip says +6, but that's counting dexterity, so it would be...
Right, so it'll be more than that. What is your dex score?
My dex score?
Yeah, what is your dex score?
My total dex is 16.
16, so it's a plus 3. So you'll be getting a +6 bonus, so it's a +12 with the whip.
But with dex, but if I do strength...
No, it's if your whip modifier is a +6 with dex, it's a +12 with strength.
Okay.
Yeah, because your strength is a +9 and your dex is a +3.
So that would be 15.
Did you roll a 3?
Yes.
You got a 15. So Sha'Nehl, unfortunately, so she whips forward, but she's unable to wrap around his hand, literally because of the bonus of the called shot. So she tries to do it, and he sort of like he's like startled, but he does man it. You can't wrap around it. You probably just grab one of the other levers, which you probably don't want to yank. So he instead grabs this lever that he meant to do, and Sha'Nehl will even see that like he like kind of like angles his eyes back at you and says, "Higher and higher!" Psh, pulls it up again. At this point, you guys feel a lurch under you as the car is falling, and you hear this like, and those of you who can sort of, so Leo and Scrakk, you cannot see this, but Dominic, Sha'Nehl, and the others in the back notice like a strange sort of like misty miasma coming out from the wheels. Dominic, if you look, the wheels are turning to be somehow cloudy, and this time as you head toward a cloud, the car doesn't pass all the way through the cloud, instead bounces off the top to even higher heights, rising higher and higher.
At one point we'll have to land. Just remember that, guys.
Wait, weren't we already at the castle, or was it on the hill? So
the
we're
castle
just, like...
was far in the distance.
Oh, I see.
But like you basically like in a moment you were like, oh, there it is. But now you guys are like, now you are
on top of the clouds.
Now you're like at jet airliner levels of stuff. It's getting and you're all sort of struck by this sensation that it's incredibly cold, followed by a sensation that it's actually getting kind of hot. And up here, as you are all sort of looking now, Leo and Scrakk, interestingly, I think you guys are going to have advantage on the following roll because you won't be getting a good look at it. But for Sha'Nehl and Dominic, I need everyone here to please make a wisdom saving throw. But Scrakk and Leo, you don't have a good view, so you are both rolling your wisdom saves at advantage.
Don't look at the sun.
Basically, this is a don't look at the sun situation.
19 on the dice.
Okay, what's that get you to?
Wisdom is +1.
Okay,
so...
20. Very good.
Yeah.
Sha'Nehl, how are you?
7.
She doesn't have retinas. She can look at the sun just fine.
Scrakk, how'd you do with advantage? 20. Leo, how'd you do with advantage?
I actually rolled a nat 20.
Nat 20. So what's that get you to?
Sorry, which check was this?
Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom was, I guess, me to a 21.
Perfect. So Leo, Dominic, and Scrakk kind of like there's like this, you feel this like weird presence above you, and sort of like Indiana Jones style, like, Marion, don't look, shut your eyes, Marion. But you're all sort of like you maybe take a peek, and you can see as you rise up towards this bright light. It seems like it's closer than it should be, and it's radiating powerful heat down. But it is also, there is this face on it. There is this strange sort of face in the white light of the sun. Now, Dominic, Scrakk, and Leo, seeing that, you guys are like, shielding yourselves, not trying to look at it. But Sha'Nehl, you look up into the sunlight. And you were taken by the presence of that sun. And you're overwhelmed with this feeling that you're looking upon something that once, when it was golden and chromatic, might have been like a smiling, sunny face, a joyful thing. But in this desaturated version, the sun's eyes seem like these two sunken pits. Its mouth, this flat rictus. It looks sort of like almost like skeletal or ghostly. I'm trying to think of a good reference. It's almost like ghost face or something. It's not pleasant. I'll draw something. Hold on. But Sha'Nehl, looking up at it, you feel this odd.
This is a Fairyland's only thing, right? There's no face on the sun when we're in the real world. Not that I remember. Not that I've ever looked directly at the sun,
There is not, no. It's almost like gingerbread man, like. Like you can sort of see that in like no, it's very upsetting. It is upsetting and should be. And Sha'Nehl, as you sort of look up to it, you have this overwhelming desire to go toward it, to help it end its suffering, to help it burn brighter. Another person has to roll a wisdom save at this, and that is the driver.
Oh no.
I've rolled a 4. So with that, with this car super high in the air, he also looks up and proceeds to hop up onto the seat and then leap with all of his strength straight up at the sun. What? Sha'Nehl, would you please make an athletics roll to do the same?
All right.
Sha'Nehl's wearing suspenders of oh no.
Oh
no.
You evil thing. It is a 23.
Oh no.
Did he simultaneously kick the truck down with us in it?
I mean, probably. So basically, the hopping country squire is like leaping up, and this is some real like Mr. Toad. You know, he's going to a different no place.
You interfered, Dom?
But Sha'Nehl has leapt. Okay, now that's actually a great point. So, Dom, I will allow you to attempt to. You could try to intercept either the hopping country squire or Sha'Nehl as they make these leaps if you wanted to. You could try to do like an athletics roll to like wrestle them down. It would be hard for you to do, but you could do it. If you have any clue points, you might want to use those because
I've got 3 clues.
You to beat Sha'Nehl, you'll need to beat a 23. Yeah,
You're strong, aren't you?
This is gonna be a crazy
Athletics
situation.
wise?
Yeah. I'll tell you what,
have
though.
to roll 18.
Luminus is not the strongest guy in the world, but I will allow him. God, what would it? Let me check real quick if there's anything he could do to help you. Oh, Duchess could create. She'll put like a lasso around you to at least help you. You know, with a whatever leap or something. So she'll make this a little easier. But God, is there anything he could do that would be?
Have to roll an 18 just to match her, which means status quo remains and she stays in the car. Correct?
Yep. You got it. If you can get to that, you'll keep her in the car. Otherwise, she's jumping up.
10% chance on a 1.
And this is especially rough for Sha'Nehl because she was like, stop him from getting us up here, and then she's the one affected by the thing.
19.
You already have
I should have strangled that damn rabbit.
You already have advantage on this thanks to a roll from Luminus, so he's kind of like he's supporting you in your attempt to get up there.
Okay, so since I already have advantage of that, what would me using a clue point help in this thing rather than give advantage? Can it lower the DC if I try to divine or use some intuition to figure something out?
Some treachery and
wait, I don't think
trick?
you ever do this.
Huh?
Wait a second. Oh, there's a use for this that I don't think you've ever done. You can spend your clue points to roll your clue die and add it to a roll.
Oh, I can.
Yeah.
All right. So then, all right.
So you already have advantage. You have a D8.
Okay.
So make the roll, and then you can spend.
Let's
some
make the roll first and see what happens.
Afterwards. Yeah. At advantage.
16 plus athletics is 5, 21.
21. So you can spend a clue point and hope that you roll a 1 or 2. You could. You have to decide how many you're going to spend at once.
If I roll 2, then I guarantee victory.
You do guarantee victory with 2 clue points, as you just sort of stumble through the thing. But you could try to save one and just hope that it's not you have a 7 out of 8 chance that you'll get her.
So, you know what? I'm guaranteeing victory. I'm not taking any chances.
All right, roll them then.
But I'll roll 1 just to see if it would have failed.
Sure.
It's a 3. I would have succeeded.
Well, roll the other one.
Okay.
That gets you to 24?
24 so far.
Okay.
Plus 3. 26.
Understood. Had you gotten yourself to 30, I would have allowed you to like yank the country squire down had you wanted to. But Dominic does manage to basically, Sha'Nehl, you do this like incredible leap up. And I will actually ask Scrakk and Leo at disadvantage. Scrakk, you're not disadvantaged. Leo, you are. Can you guys make dexterity saving throws, because her jump did unsettle some of the floor of the thing. So there's like head rolling out or whatever. And Luminus is trying to help Dominic up so nobody's looking for you. Scrakk, how are you doing?
That was a 5.
A 5, great.
This wasn't my favorite dice. It would already be in dice jail.
17.
So Leo, you manage to just like your head. We'll sort of say that there's a moment where your head like rolls and you're like, oh, but like your body just like flap, and you sort of smack your head back and you're under the thing. But then your head turns in time to see Scrakk like kind of like bouncing, like getting stuck, you know, face down in like a little like rip in the bottom of this thing. He's not out of it, but his like little legs and tails just like, you know, churning like crazy as Sha'Nehl just jumped off the thing and tore a hole in the bottom of the thing. And so Scrakk, you're just looking down and you see, I mean, you just see, you know, you see
Clouds.
Countryside and clouds below. It's terrifying. Dominic, you do grab hold of Sha'Nehl and you're able to pull her back down to sort of at least hold her, though she may still be trying to jump. But it is at this point that the vehicle, driverless and falling, shall we say, continues to fall.
I slide on into the driver's seat.
All right, so basically,
Sha'Nehl, I'll go stick her under my feet because she is like 20 pounds.
She throws this incredibly strong thing. Sha'Nehl, upon him doing so and the sun kind of like being blocked, would you make another wisdom saving throw? And I guess because of what I gave to them, you may have advantage on this. Dominic?
Thank God for advantage. 22.
Wonderful. So basically, Sha'Nehl, upon seeing that, you're snapped out of it and you're like stuck on the ground, and Dominic's got like a foot on you, and he's like reaching for the controls, but you can feel yourselves falling. Scrakk is hanging out at the bottom. Okay, so Dominic, right now
I was there up in the front, so
you feel like the wheels doing this. This is you are good at motor vehicles, but this is a crazy one.
This
So,
is.
Where's
the country squire?
He has leapt into the sun.
Okay, but like, did he actually leap into the sun? Like, is he? Like,
I'm not
was he
looking to
absorbed
make
into the
sure.
sun,
I
or-
rolled a 19 on the die, and his jumping is high, is
Very
what
good.
we expect.
Ludicrous.
That being said, I suppose let's roll one more thing for all the whole.
Does he make it to the sun?
Yeah, that was a 17 on the die. So up above you, you hear this ecstatic laughter, and then you hear this. Oh, so empty. There is a burst of heat as you all take. Yikes! 6 points of fire damage as
Had
the
to ask, Jeremy.
as
You
the
had to
top
ask.
of the as like the top of the car catches fire.
Oh, come on.
What? Should I wait? Are we at full health right now?
I
Have we
believe you
rested
all.
since the last time?
We have.
Okay.
We are.
Yeah, you rested and then, right?
Okay.
Yeah, we did. We rested. We long rested.
You
after?
long rested. You came here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. Some people might have got hurt when that archfey came after you for his
Okay.
but I think you're okay.
Can I
No.
flow state?
I think you can definitely flow state if you want to in this horrifying circumstance. As you're like seeing like the ground rising and the wheels next to you are spinning out a cloud-like vapor of their own.
Okay.
And then like you feel like fire on your tail.
So, if I can, so I'm proficient in both ground and air vehicles.
Okay.
I
Is this
want
not an
to,
air vehicle?
try pull myself up, look at the controls, and just, is there anything that I like just have a pull that, press this button, something to like a parachute or anything?
Okay. Because you have flow stated,
Yeah.
I will allow you to. Oh, but that is a bonus action to do, right?
Yeah, it's a bonus action to flow state.
Okay, so you sort of flow state, so you're sort of like, you're pulling yourself back up, but I will definitely let you make a roll to kind of like give Dominic some guidance, because he's at the thing, and as you say, it is also air vehicles, which is helpful, but it's going to take you a second to get there. Leo, or I know you're headless right now, are you trying to do anything nonetheless?
I have something in reserve for if we cannot get this to fly.
Featherfall.
And is it called Featherfall?
Yeah. It's called Featherfall.
I'd have that. All right, I'm gonna say make a either flat intelligence or investigation, if that's better for you.
Okay.
So just to keep it on the tip of
Investigation
the
is
tongue.
better.
Okay.
Nat 20 plus 4.
Cool, Leo. You think it's a really good idea at this point for Luminus to just Luminus or Duchess or whoever to just go ahead and just like get your head in hand. It's a really good idea for somebody to just be holding your head up where you can see stuff. Like,
Somebody please grab my head. I need to be seeing things.
we'll say the two DM piloted, either of them can today grab your head and sort of be holding you up as you're sort of seeing kind of the situation here.
Oh, it's even worse than I thought.
As the car's on fire, your body is like on fire, like patting itself out. Luminus is, like trying to like pat stuff out.
right.
Duchess is wearing a little fire hat and shooting a cartoon water at it, but the water's like,
All right, I'm
"It's
turning
too
this
hot for
into a
us."
convertible.
Yeah.
Turning this into a convertible and punching away the roof, because you said you can just do that.
Yeah, you guys are just, especially with it on fire, pretty easy to knock that off. At this point, Dominic, as you've gotten into the thing, Sha'Nehl, did you have a plan?
I also have land vehicle. Can I help anything with to Dominic? Especially I'm
Come on, we
down
can't have two
there.
backseat drivers here.
Pedal
Actually,
there or
in this
something.
case, there is a thing. So, Scrakk, I would love for you to make your, is it same? I assume it's the same for land and air vehicles for you, right?
Yes.
So yeah, just make your roll on kind of both, basically.
Okay.
Guys, this has been one wild ride.
I'm making one roll, or what am I
just,
doing here?
just one roll.
Same.
It's kind of,
Okay.
you're sort of looking at it holistically, though. But you
Mr. Hare's Wild Ride. I want to make off.
That
I want to
was
get
a
off Mr. Hare's
natural
Wild Ride.
20.
Natural 20. I really
Plus
20?
3.
Oh,
I had a
Wow.
vibe from you that it might have been a natural one. So basically, Scrakk, you sort of pop your head up, and although God, you are a you are an Arcana guy, aren't you?
you can't
I'm
be
Arcana, but I also have proficiency in Tinker's tools, lab tools, and I have the Conrad's contraption, if that makes any difference at all.
That really could help. But would you also just give me an Arcana roll real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a magic item, huh? This
Yeah.
car.
I get the professor die, correct?
You do?
29.
29. Okay. So Scrakk not so good at not falling out of the bottom of a car when a incredibly strong mannequin kicks it out while trying to leap into the sun. He's not great at that, but he is good at thinking. So Scrakk, two things present itself to you. One is the knowledge that Leo can featherfall you guys. That's like
Okay.
that's a real good thing. That's a real good thing to know. Although he'd probably have to do it in such a way that what is the duration of featherfall?
1 minute.
Yeah,
One minute.
you guys might need to fall a while before he activates that.
I mean, I can
No.
cast it multiple times.
Wait, if it expires, won't we just fall harmlessly?
Oh, I think that is true, actually. Yes.
Yeah.
So very
You
good.
can't be boned by featherfall if you don't time it correctly.
Well, you can if somebody stands.
if your DM is named Philip and he likes
Or if,
being a total.
Oh no, there was a module. There was an AL module where they recommend if people are feather falling, have the mages on the ground cast dispel magic when they're in range if they feather fall down. So Scrakk, so knowing that you can feather fall, certainly that, and also knowing the thing I've just forgot, which is that you could just do that and float harmlessly down. That might just be the best thing to do at this point. But if you want to salvage this vehicle, which granted is on fire and has a hole in the bottom, you probably would need Dominic and Sha'Nehl and yourself. You guys will need to like bounce off a cloud one more time, but not at maximum stuff, And then from that, you could, if you could do like a bunny hop off a cloud, you could then switch back to the normal things and do a couple more bounces on the ground of descending height. And you could technically land it safely, but that's going to require multiple successful rolls.
I see.
And one of them will be like deactivating the cloud, the things, So yeah.
Bounce.
So
Alright.
Featherfall does seem like the obvious solution here. However, right on Scrack's character sheet here, I have written in the flaws section, I overlook obvious solutions and favor complicated ones.
Well, there
So
you
we
go.
are definitely going with the second option.
So he's too busy thinking about how this contraption works before thinking about
He's a
Featherfall.
scientist, of course he does.
Of course. He's not an engineer. He's a theoretical physicist.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so Sha'Nehl. So basically, Scrakk, with you doing this great job of understanding this, and like the featherfall pops into your head, and if anything, you're just like, so we got to back up. So Scrakk can begin sort of giving suggestions to Sha'Nehl and Dominic. Sha'Nehl, with your proficiency, would you also make a land vehicles roll?
Okay, by the way, I also have Arcana.
There you go. So
I rolled a 16. Do I add anything to it?
Land vehicles.
you can add your proficiency bonus, which I think for you guys is 3, and then you'd probably add your
What is
dexterity.
for vehicles? What is the proficiency?
It's the
That's
same.
what
It's always the
did.
same proficiency. It's all the +3. But I think it'll be
Well,
you're adding
that's-
+6 to whatever you
Oh,
roll.
proficiency.
Yeah.
Oh,
So roll
Huh?
add
That's
6 to
like
whatever
me.
you rolled.
it's 22.
22. All right. So Sha'Nehl, you're able to like give Dominic like a pretty good thing. Dominic, you have advantage on the following roll. So go ahead and at Scrack's suggestion with some assistance from Sha'Nehl, who's basically spotting you because the mirrors have exploded in flame. About like the timing of this, she's gonna give you like a now. You are going to try to do a soft bounce off the top of a cloud. Hey, you get off of my cloud,
I
and
knew that was coming.
in doing so, you're gonna try to do like a little like a little thing, and then you have to very quickly switch off the cloud ones,
Right.
so that you'll sort of fall beyond it.
17 plus 6 is 23.
With the 23, Sha'Nehl's help, Scrack's guidance, you do manage to shut it off, and you guys all lurch. But with the 23 also, there were numbers where you would have succeeded, but everyone would have bounced and people could have fallen out again. Yeah, it's fun. But with that, you managed to do that Leo kind of in Luminus's head. You sort of see everything like, oh. And
like
Dominic, you
rainbow
managed to do this
code.
bunny hop thing, and then you push down that lever, and that sound of the clouds coming out of those wheels ends. And now you all just feel yourselves falling a rather long distance to the ground below. Once again, Dominic, you are going to have to do a very precise jump where you put a good bit into the hop to keep you up, but you're not going to try to put as much as he was doing to get more air. So Sha'Nehl, why don't you give him some assistance? Actually, you know what? Between Sha'Nehl and Scrakk, I think I can assume... you know what? Sha'Nehl, Scrakk, both of you roll.
Just
Let's-
like rolling.
Yeah.
What am I rolling?
Fun.
Roll your land vehicles again.
I rolled a 19, so plus 6 is 25.
25.
13 on me.
13. So basically, with one of them, sort of Scrakk at this point is like, oh, that mechanism to put out the cloud. That's so fascinating. So he's kind of been distracted, but Sha'Nehl manages to be like timing now. Dominic once again with advantage.
14 plus 6 is non-nat 20.
A 20 is what you needed for no one to have to go flying. You hit the ground. Mortar shell explosion all around as you leap pretty darn high, but not up to the cloud line. So that's good. The car is now flying. You guys are all doing this, but everyone's braced at this point. This time, I guess Scrakk and Sha'Nehl, you can give him another one, but at this point, the DCs become much lower because you've now done this a few times. You're gonna have to roll again, but it's kind of more.
I keep rolling good on this.
18.
18.
That's good.
24.
Yes, Dominic with advantage. Give me one more.
Not nat 20.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. So 27, 26.
26.
So basically, Dominic, at this point, you hop and you're not
Am I
tempted.
doing like a drift or something?
Yeah, there's no morality save for you, but these hops down, you're kind of like, okay, actually, this is really fun. Like this would be Like I kind of get the appeal of this. And you the idea of putting this into a primo auto 6C is kind of appealing, you know. But you manage to with a nat 20 and assistance from them. The car is on fire. Actually, no, at this point there was so much air whipping, you're fine. You set the car down and it's still technically like you're now on the ground. You can bring it to a stop. You can turn it off even. The car is on the ground. In the distance, all of you can see perhaps like 2 or 3 miles away, there is a tall castle kind of covered in misty clouds on a hill.
From this distance, can we see anyone on the ramparts or anyone, you know, seeing this shenanigans happening?
I would say at this distance, the only way you could is if somebody pulled out, if somebody had like a tool that had all tools on it, including like a spyglass, and were able to like look through it as a perception check. That's the only way you could possibly.
I wonder if someone has such a
contraption, you know.
That seems way too convenient, honestly.
Well, I suppose we could make something out of. Wait. Here, okay, I take it out.
All right, so yes, you pull that out. You can hand that over to whoever has the highest perception. It's probably Dominic or Sha'Nehl.
Have we stopped?
You are stopped on the ground at this point. Yes.
I'm
I
driving.
would like to just spill out of the car, you know, like I'm like Akimbo and just laying splayed on the ground. It's just like I'm not.
And you guys seem to kind of be in the middle of. It's like you're not by a road or anything. Now is an okay time to take a rest and maybe reapply a head to a body, for example, by holding it there for like an hour. But yes, so
it would be appreciated.
As Sha'Nehl just falls onto the ground, and Luminus and Duchess kind of calm down. Dominic, why don't you give me another perception roll using the spyglass, which in this case doesn't give you advantage, simply allows the possibility you could see something at that range.
Okay.
And I think Conrad's contraption also
23.
What's the rarity of yours? Sorry, you're muted.
You're muted.
+3.
So add 3 to what you just rolled.
23 plus 3 is 26.
Yes, with a 26, you can see the ramparts. They do appear unmanned or womaned or creatured. Though there are some like pennants flying in the wind.
Right.
Looking a little further down, however, with a 26, sort of, even though it's like a little misty and hazy, you can see at the front gates that the gates are open. And there are a few sort of figures like present there in some courtyard within Lytesia.
So the castle is non-binaried, I guess.
In what
Okay,
sense?
I would not say manned, but to be.
I understood. Yes, it is. It is personed. Exactly.
All right. So take a rest while I search through the trunk, see what tools they have to fix the floor or whatever.
Oh, to fix this thing. Okay.
It's just a spare tire is what they have, I guess.
Literally rolled a 1.
No.
And it's not even someone in your party. This is a guy who's now been eaten by the sun. So, unfortunately, what you find in there, you don't find nothing. You open the trunk. You don't find a spare tire. You find a place where a spare tire should be. What is instead there is a bunch of bloody clothing and a couple of knives.
Goddamn.
And
dead body.
a severed elf hand. That like,
seriously, if anybody needed a killing gift, was that body.
and it's a severed elf hand that seems like it's not so much an elf hand that he severed and put in here, that it kind of just got like accidentally included with the rags.
So I guess during this rest, we get the brief rundown of what was in there.
Yeah. So Sha'Nehl, would you, as we do this rest, Sha'Nehl,
Yeah,
would you
I'll
like
tell
to...
everybody what I found.
Okay.
Oh, that explains the hand then. Huh.
And I probably would give the notes I took from the letter to Scrakk.
Oh, perfect. Yes, Scrakk, you can get those notes from that letter, which specifically...
The Count, doesn't he show up on the cereal boxes?
And I will probably tell them that I believe that the gremlins were behind the color drain.
You can definitely
That is
tell
my
them.
opinion.
The gremlins.
The gremlins.
I
I'm
mean,
betting Duchess is really mad now.
Yep, Duchess goes, gremlins, eh?
Oh, great.
And
now
then
she's gonna have
she,
genocide.
Then
Why
she's
the
just
gremlins?
Oh, man.
I mean, they switched. Well, I mean, I guess we are the side that did it, but they switched sides.
I think they switched sides because we had the technology to drain the color somewhat.
Hmm.
They have some plans with the Shadowlands.
Well,
Does that note tell you anything?
is this the note that's in the recap?
Yeah, it's the specific note, I think, just to make sure with this. There's a note from Count H that dispatched this person to the Fairylands. It doesn't or to dispatch him to this area, basically. It doesn't give you much detail, but I think that what Sha'Nehl intuited was that he probably is not a, and I think you guys had figured this out before, he is not a high member of the group. He, you know, he was sent here to do some small thing, but also maybe was sent here to just like be gotten
Be out of
rid
the way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're also talking something about the new model of the.
Oh, sorry, that
and
note. Yes. He has written things talking about the world's new model, Scrakk, which you were sort of seeing, and Scrakk, why don't you make a history roll? Sha'Nehl, you can do it as well.
Okay.
Oh, I have good history. Good. 19.
18.
Neither of you have heard of the new world model, or the world's new model, the term they use here. Though
Question.
oh yeah, go ahead, Dominic.
Does the family, are our goals any as wide reaching as that sort of thing, or is it just standard get power locally or whatever?
Certainly nothing at your level would possibly be flirting with stuff like this. Yeah, you are much more about, you'd be
I'm
about
underground.
all affiliated Trachillian families being in good shape, but there's what they're talking about seems a more intense thing. Scrakk and Sha'Nehl,
Trying
both.
to remember, does that speech I heard at the bookshop remnant
Ooh,
sound anything like this?
what an interesting
Oh.
question.
It brings something about it, and I'm saying Anthony's saying this too. Something about that speech makes me think of that, but I don't remember what it was exactly.
What a fascinating thing. Well, in this instance, I will say that from player memory, you can have the additional information that a 20 might bring. That certain elements of this do slightly remind you of what some of those Shadow Elf agitators may have been talking about at the time. Sort of little terms in common. The idea that the shape of the world is wrong, like the idea that Shadow Elves would be doing this. You never heard them say the world's new model, but remembering the vibe of Beth and Afa, remembering sort of the energy, remembering the secretness of it, you certainly think it is plausible that there are some Shadow Elves and some gremlins who are a part of some thing that they're trying to shift the world order. And I would say the history roll you both achieved with your 18 and 19 is that you can recall people talking about like polemics being written about the dangerous state of the world more in like before the turn of the last century for Earth reference, kind of like modernism, like people who were saying like, can this sustain, and sort of what would have come from like World War I. Is basically, this seems like some older ideas that may be being brought back, but in a completely new way. But certainly the idea of saying the current constellation of nations dictating these things with stuff, perhaps there's some people who want to undo that.
Guess we have to go to the Shadowlands after all.
No, we don't have. We literally don't have to.
We kind of do. You don't. I
It's
Scrakk.
a
suppose.
conspiracy.
Scrakk looks at Dominic, and he's just like, Why are you here again?
Because I don't want to get shot by the Gestorians. That's it.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Alright.
See? This is all your guys' fault anyway. You're the ones who took away the color. I didn't ask for that.
No, we
Do-
did not. It was the gremlins and the shadow elves.
Do any of you have as a like a specific flaw that you are prone to like conspiracy theorizing and paranoia?
So
Totally fine if not. Just that's a
no.
double check I'm going to do.
Just to show my flaw is I have no patience for plans. We knew that.
Sure.
And I often rely on improvisation. Oh, there's one that I didn't write down. Anything my family says, as in capital F family,
Yeah, for
says is the truth. So I'll trust them
sure. Okay.
no matter what.
This would probably not be a thing that would appeal to you then. Leo, do you have flaws or any specific? It's okay if you don't. Also.
I don't. No, I don't
Okay,
think I have any
yeah.
specific flaws like that.
I have that I'm easily distracted by the promise of information, but not specifically
Yeah,
conspiracy.
that's not this stuff. Sha'Nehl, is that one that you think you would go down conspiracy rabbit holes at all, or not really?
I don't think it's in character.
Okay, Sha'Nehl, make another.
Do you think so?
I think it
I'm
is to some
slightly.
extent.
I'm trying to come up with my flaws at them. Put down slightly
yeah.
on the side up.
She would definitely follow
slightly?
message boards.
Sha'Nehl, why don't you give me another morality saving throw?
Okay. That's not gonna be good. God. I rolled a 15, and I believe that's a
Okay,
minus one.
you're not being like sucked into some kind of like paranoid conspiracy or anything, but the point being, there's a lot going on here.
I think, but though I would acknowledge the possibility of any theory.
Because
No matter
because
how
you sort
bad.
of succeeded that, you're not getting like sucked into so yeah, you can think there's a conspiracy, but you don't get any insight into what it is, or other than the ones you draw right now. But you chat about these things for about an hour, and Leo, you feel a little like, and your head's back on your body.
Oh, much better. Oh, 1 second.
Yeah.
Now it's good.
wait. It's not in the groove. It's in the yeah.
So I assume that I was gonna before we go, I'm just gonna observe one more time, see anyone's approaching.
Sure.
or
Make another
whatnot.
one with an additional +3 bonus.
Oh, that's a 4. It got foggy or something like that. 4 plus 7 plus 10 is 14.
Yeah. At this point, there's just too much mist to see through. So you're not
Alright.
sure of the situation.
Well, let's approach then at a steady pace to make sure we don't look like we're invading or
Are you
anything.
taking the car, or are you just gonna walk?
I'll take. Why would we walk? We have a car.
I'm not getting into that car again.
You have a hopping
yeah,
car.
Scrakk is not gonna no.
Okay,
I
fine.
just got my head back on.
I don't have to turn on the hopping features, right?
I don't think that car
Um,
goes any other way.
Were you going
it-
to get
it-
into
it
that
is-
car really, truly, and not turn on the hopping features?
Yeah. The suspension would be weird if you didn't turn the hopping on. It is a car meant to hop.
I'll get in the car.
Aside from the castle, is there any like village or anything nearby?
Oh,
There is usually like a village right under their castle if it's a castle.
Yes, looking around, that's actually a very good point. Yes,
least
there
the
is
village-
a small village at the base of the mountain. And Dominic, your previous look through the spyglass would have revealed that there did seem to be some individuals in there. You sort of were looking up at the high thing, but and that would basically be like 2 miles from where you are to get to that village.
Got it.
Then it's kind of like
I'd say let's
Okay.
head to the village first and see if we can get any information.
So Dominic, are you going to drive?
Yeah, I'm gonna drive.
So Dominic will take off driving while the rest of
Who
you
wants
begin
to?
walking.
Who wants to take shotgun? I looked at the 3 people here, and they all shake their heads.
Yeah,
no.
and Duchess Duchess is still fixing her hair. Luminus is still throwing up ice cream. So yeah, they're going to not get in the car. But Dominic.
Very well. I shall go as an advanced scout.
Okay,
I
cool.
guess.
So Dominic is going to drive in a car as the rest of you walk. Dominic, make a motor vehicle roll, but you don't get advantage because your friends aren't helping.
8 plus 6 is 14.
With a 14.
Not pulling any levers at all. It's
14.
just going.
Well, you have to pull some levers for like the things. You're not intensifying. So Dominic, as you begin going with a 14, I'm gonna say that you make it there with a hop and a clunk and a whoa and a hop, and then this time you did it at the wrong time, and it's kind of like when you grind gears in a manual transmission car. And you're like, oh no, oh boy, it's like stalling out. You hop. You're doing smaller hops, but the final hop that gets you about 50 feet from like the front of this village, and you're also not coming from where the road is. So there's like a road sort of over there, but you're sort of coming from the side. Your final hop is like a few people are sort of like pausing to look at you. You do land, and kind of one of the wheels bends, and the car like stops hopping, and you push it. So it's repairable still. You haven't totaled it, but at this point and there's like steam coming out of it, and little nascent cloud things forming off the sides.
I'd say a broken axle. We need to do some hunting to get back onto the trail. And we can ford this river, right? Ford the river. Always ford the river.
No, you can't ford the river.
We cannot afford the river.
Because Scrakk, Sha'Nehl, and Leo all just died of dysentery. So, Dominic, you were there, and upon your arrival, you see a few. Right. There are a couple of shimmer elves, a couple of satyrs, and a couple of fairies are sort of like moving out. You notice that they are all wearing very similar they're sort of like doublets, like they're kind of like very old-fashioned, like old-timey clothing, doublets, and like the pantaloons and the long sort of stuff. They're sort of,
I see,
stepping forward.
I'll put in my diplomatic side from dealing with the families and greet. Hello there, General Kenobi.
Well, hello there. They sort of just look and say,
don't understand.
Are one of the shimmer elves, she'll sort of take the lead and step forward and say, sir, are you quite lost?
No, I'm where I need to be. Don't worry about that. I know where I'm going.
Where are you going, sir?
Actually, I don't know where I'm going. Where are we?
Oh, you're at Leticia Village, sir.
Oh, right. That's where we were going.
We don't really get many travelers these days, though.
Yeah, we're going to Leticia.
We? She kind of looks back at like the smoking wreckage of your car.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Can I just, for comedy's sake, at some point in time, there's still the elf hand in there because I didn't bother cleaning it up. So, just to remind you that is there.
Sure, there's the Chekhov's elf hand. Got it.
Whenever it's the most funny or inconvenient, it is there.
By the way, if it touches ground, does the elf grow back or something happens like with the bodies?
There was something about that. great.
Wait, were there actually bodies or just the hand in there?
Oh no, there were bodies at the house where they were specifically keeping it away from any foliage on the ground. That is true.
Right.
Good catch actually. That's fun.
Plus, that those things not that gonna grow back and touch the bodies because
So
the rabbit
Dominic,
is not there.
they're sort of looking to you and saying, "You're heading to Lytesia.
Yeah.
Were you invited?"
No.
Oh, I understand. Well, welcome to the village, nonetheless. You said there's Moria, and one of them starts like walking over to the car to sort of check it.
I know they're
or maybe
they're
hovering
walking
if it's
over. They didn't want to take the hopping car. I don't see why.
And you
I mean,
hear
it's
someone,
still-
you hear some, satyr back there goes, "Oh, I can understand why that thing is it's a jalopy it is." But
Yeah.
this one shimmer elf says, "All right, well, I suppose
Okay.
we'll come on into the village then.
Yeah.
We'll send word up to the castle, let him know you're trying to seek an audience with the Castellans, and would you like any?
Is there are they the Castellans up there, are they the highest local power here, or are they part of another government of some sort? Like some sort of country, empire, state?
Well, here in the Fairylands, we're more alloyed by courts, but the Castellans keep their own court, but they're no archfey.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. I don't want to meet one of those again.
Dominic, what is your passive insight?
+1.
You're maybe noticing 1/6 of the knowing glances between this rather large group of fae who have gathered around you. She says, "Well, sure," and then this other.
It's a long story, I'll say.
Another elf steps forward. She's a bit she seems older, which means she's probably extremely old. But she walks forward and says, "Oh, don't worry about it, lad. I'm sure you've had a long journey.
Yeah.
Come and sit down."
All the way from Justoria.
"Oh, Justoria. Sounds like an exotic place. Here, sit here." And she kind of pulls you over to like a little well and says, "Here, have some honey cake. And some daffodil tea."
Am I distrustful of this?
Well, go ahead and make an insight roll.
Flat 10. Well, 9 on the dice +1 is 10. So could go either way depending on how convincing she is.
You've never trusted anyone more.
Oh, I've got to say, this whole trek has been such a bother. That is some good tea, I must say.
It is good tea, Dominic.
Okay, good.
It tastes sweet and calming.
Relaxing.
Wouldn't have to be
And-
lotus tea, would it?
And so relaxing
That I just doze off.
that you
instantly.
just seem to doze right off. Sha'Nehl, Scrakk, and Leo.
God damn it.
You guys are walking forward. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys. This was not the plan, but this is the plan. Okay, so Sha'Nehl, Scrakk, and Leo, you guys are walking forward. Given Chanel's stats and Scrakk also being good at navigation, it doesn't take you guys long. You get there and you see the car where there are some fairies in old-fashioned clothing and a couple of satyrs like looking at it, and they sort of like nod to you. A fairy kind of buzzes back over to the town, they're all sort of like standing there, like kind of like one of them sort of waves to you, but you see that they're by the car. Sha'Nehl, with your perception, you see Dominic is sort of standing with some of these figures kind of like up at the gates in like the 2 miles, I guess you guys probably weren't going super fast, so we'll say it took you about 30-40 minutes to get there. He's just kind of chatting. He has like a little cake and a little teacup in hand, which in his hand is real small. He's just eating that. He kind of just looks over at you all and sort of says, "What took you so long?" And yeah.
We didn't want to drive in that Hellmobile after.
He kind of says, it was fine. And he just, kind of, in what I need to just really point out is very Dom-like terms, okay? In a very Dom-like way, just suggests that, and as you guys gather here, this one Shimmer Elf, this younger Shimmer Elf, she sort of steps forward and says, "Well, welcome to Lytesia Village. We've sent up word that you're trying to visit the castle. We'll see if the Castellans can see you soon. Otherwise, you're welcome to wait here."
Well, that's very hospitable of you. Thank you.
Of course, we don't get many visitors here, but we try to be friendly.
Why have not?
Why don't we get visitors? Well, it's a bit remote.
Yes.
We're sort of far from any of the major archfey courts of the area, and this castle, it's a happy place, but it's got a bit of an old reputation, although I'd wager with you all coming here, you probably knew that. She sort of smiles and says, "Anyway, you can come and rest here," and Dom just keeps eating a cake and drinking a tea. And as you guys enter Lytesia Village, with Dom following along, that's where we're ending tonight's session. And Ka won't be here in 2 weeks when we pick this up.
Perfect.
But
perfect timing.
Yeah, that was not my plan, but you went off alone, and then you janked some stuff, and now... So Dom will be here next week, but Ka won't, and... this is good.
Doppelganger?
great.
Awesome.
You don't know. You don't know nothing.
Good.
What timing?
That was not my
So
plan.
perfectly.
I love it when a thing like that happens, and it wasn't the...
It's just perfect.
Very nice.
What are you talking about? Dominic's been here the whole week. I'm gonna show up in 4 weeks from now. Dominic's gonna wonder what the hell? Everything's on fire.
Yeah, exactly.
I come back somehow. It's like,
Or I think it's more in 4 weeks. Dom wakes up inside a trunk. He's like, what? What's happening? So
you're finally awake.
Right?
I had to cross the
I was just
border
thinking that.
to Lytesia.
You're trying to cross the border to the Feywild.
what is this game that I'm not understanding?
Skyrim.
Reference.
Perfect.
It's a very
Todd
famous
Howard,
opening
you've done it
scene.
again.
Well, perfect. Well, guys, thank you so much for playing. This was super fun. I appreciate this. Thank you for taking one wild ride. I gotta say, that wild ride.
I had a bad feeling about that
You
ride.
guys-
I believe
from
the bunny
start.
jumped into the sun.
What was really funny is we talked about how high Sha'Nehl could jump. And then I was like, Sha'Nehl, you'll jump up too. And then I was like, she has the thing. Oh, no. But Dominic managed with some clue points. He got her. That's great. So, guys, thank you so much. That was really fun. We will be back in 2 weeks to see what happens to the gang here in Lytesia Village. We have some other games to watch on Friday. We've got another Blood from a Stone where things are going crazy because Blood from a Stone is basically now a dark mirror version of Lost Lore Academia ever since they shattered the mists. It's crazy, so come check that out on Friday. On Sunday, we'll have another Star Wars game and Mystic Starport. And then on Monday, we'll be back for Lost Lore Academia. This coming Monday, however, sort of this week there's a book fair going. Starting technically this Friday, but beginning really on Monday, it is spring break. So the players will still be coming to school to check on this, but then the activities next week will just be spring break activities. So that'll be dumb. And then, we'll be back with this in 2 weeks. So thank you all so much.
Party trip to Cancun.
Basically. Party trip to
Fire
wherever.
Island.
Beach episode? Is it a beach episode?
Fire Island. Vanda? Yeah, sure.
Oh no! Fire Festival!
They could, or they could go to the Fire Festival. That's true too. All right. Well, thank you all so much. This was awesome. Please follow our channel, subscribe if you're able. Follow the cool stuff all these players do. Join us in Discord, etc., etc. Until next time. Good night and good
Noir.
noir.